or layers of fingerprint dust. She'd lived well, he thought, but then she had been able to afford to live well. She'd become an heiress when she turned 21, the privileged, pampered orphan and the wild child of the Fontaine empire. An excellent education, a country club darling, and the headache, he imagined, of the conservative and staunch Fontaines, of Fontaine department stores fame. Rarely had a week gone by that Grace Fontaine didn't warrant a mention in the society pages of the Washington Post, or a paparazzi shot in one of the glossies, and it usually hadn't been due to a good deed. The press would be screaming with this latest and last adventure in the life and times of Grace Fontaine, Seth knew, the moment the news leaked. And they would be certain to mention all of her escapades, posing nude at 19 for a centerfold spread, the steamy and very public affair with the very married English lord, the dalliance with a hot heartthrob from Hollywood. There'd been other notches in her designer belt, Seth remembered. A United States senator, a best-selling author, the artist who had painted her portrait, the rock star who, rumor had it, had attempted to take his own life when she dumped him. She'd packed a lot of men into a short life. Grace Fontaine was dead at 26. It was his job to find out not only the how, but the who and the why. He had a line on the why already. The 3 Stars of Mithra, a fortune in blue diamonds, the impressive and desperate act of a friend, and greed. Seth frowned as he walked through the empty house, cataloging the events that had brought him to this place, to this point. Since he had a personal interest in mythology, had since childhood, he knew something about the 3 stars. They were the stuff of legends, and had once been grouped in a gold triangle that had been held in the hands of a statue of the god Mithra. 1 stone for love, he remembered, skimming through details as he climbed the curved stairs to the 2nd level. 1 for knowledge, and the last for generosity. Mythologically speaking, whoever possessed the stars gained the god's power, and immortality. Which was, logically, a crock, of course. Wasn't it odd, though, he mused, that he'd been dreaming lately of flashing blue stones, a dark castle shrouded in mist, a room of glinting gold. And there was a man, with eyes as pale as death, he thought, trying to clear the hazy details, and a woman with the face of a goddess. And his own violent death. Seth shook off the uneasy sensation that accompanied his recalling the snippets of dreams. What he required now were facts. Basic, logical facts. And the fact was that 3 blue diamonds weighing something over 100 carats apiece were worth 6 kings' ransoms. And someone wanted them, and didn't mind killing to gain possession. He had bodies piling up like cordwood, he thought, dragging a hand through his dark hair. In order of death, the first had been Thomas Salvini, part owner of Salvini, gem experts who had been contracted by the Smithsonian Institution to verify and assess the 3 stones. Evidence pointed to the fact that verifying and assessing hadn't been quite enough for Thomas Salvini, or his twin, Timothy. Over $1 million in cash indicated that they'd had other plans, and a client who wanted the stars for himself. Added to that was the statement from one Bailey James, the Salvini's stepsister and eyewitness to fratricide. A gemologist with an impeccable reputation, she claimed to have discovered her stepbrother's plans to copy the stones, sell the originals, and leave the country with the profits. She'd gone in to see her brothers alone, he thought with a shake of his head, without contacting the police, and she'd decided to face them down after she shipped 2 of the stones to her 2 closest friends, separating them to protect them. He gave a short sigh at the mysterious minds of civilians. Well, she'd paid for her impulse, he thought, walking in on the vicious murder, barely escaping with her